several written of late about the war by you, but it's more than that. The piece strikes me as a sort of personality study in Trump's numerous and severe psychopathologies. Let's first set up the premise. You're certainly in large company in thinking it, but in what sense has Trump lost in Iran?
I want to emphasize, I'm not any kind of military expert or Middle East expert, so I'm going to tread very lightly here. But Trump, at various points, has set various goals. They've been different from time to time and contradictory, but there's a list of them, and he's achieving, it looks like, none of them. He's not achieving a nuclear-free Iran. He's not achieving the helping the Iranian people, which on January, this is to my mind one of the most shameful passages in this war. On January 13th, the President of the United States, from his personal social media platform, promised the Iranian people that help is on the way. Now, you know his word is not to be trusted. I know his word is not to be trusted. But if you're the Iranian people being massacred by an authoritarian regime, you trust the President of the United States. And he said that, and he didn't make good. He's undertaken as well. He's committed as well to destroying their ballistic missile program. That hasn't happened, and now he's got a late goal because the war closed the Strait of Hormuz. They got the Strait of Hormuz reopened, and not with a toll or with some kind of tax, but as rights of freedom of navigation. He's not achieving that either. But my interest was not so much this part of the war, which I leave to others who know more, but to talk about what went wrong. Why was Trump backed into this position? Given the awesome power of the United States military, why couldn't he execute on what he promised to do?
And it's sort of remarkable, right? You just think about the asymmetry of the power, how the first couple weeks went last June, and you would think it's a little bit of a elephant and mouse. It seems to me part of it, and this is in the article as well, is he never seemed to know what he wanted to do. I mean, we've had months now of his zigging and zagging and proclaiming peace and resuming bombing. Do we know anything more than we did at the beginning, which is to say nothing, about why he even launched the war?
We don't know very much about that. But here's this. I think the answer to the elephant and the mouse problem. I mean, Iran's not exactly a mouse, so this is like an elephant and
cheetah?
One of the a dangerous cheetah, exactly, a dangerous jungle beast, but not of size and power to the elephant. Wars go wrong. Wars are difficult. And one of the reasons the United States does not use war all the time is because of this recognition that the war must be worth the price, even if the United States can win. The United States has fought wars that it gave up halfway through. Vietnam is the classic example. Not because it couldn't have won if it set its mind to it, but because when it did set its mind and said, here's what will have to be done in order to win, Americans said, that's not worth it. This war is not existential. It's not important enough. If it can be done cheaply and easily, yes. But if it's going to be costly and difficult and dangerous, no. It's not a war like the United States was attacked, or it's meeting some great power competitor, or Nazi Germany, or Imperial Japan. So what happened here was President Trump never sought permission in any way from the American people or from Congress to lead the country to war. He never tried to build any kind of coalition. There are Democrats, I've met them in the Senate and even in the House, who are very Iran skeptical and who under other conditions might have supported military action to settle the long-standing business with which the United States has to deal with Iran. There's a lot of American blood on the hands of the American terror regime dating back to 1980. It was possible to mobilize opinion in country and Senate, but Trump didn't do that. He did it as a solo action with no allies except Israel, no support in the country, no support in the Congress, no explanation to what he was doing. And a president can sort of get away with that if it's like Grenada, 1983, or Venezuela, cheap, easy, okay, it's over. But if it's going to be a war that is going to impose sacrifices, you have to make the case to the country. You have to be a leader. And you have to be not just a personal leader, but the leader of the whole government, including Congress. And when you don't do that, once you meet any bumps in the road, you discover you have no public permission to go further. And that's why Trump is scrambling to make the disadvantageous peace he is scrambling to make, because he will not pay the price. He cannot afford the price in public opinion, because he never got permission to do what he's done.